So, 2020. Just kidding, I didn't take the cap off. So in this video, I'm going to talk about three things. Let's recap 2020 because it was a challenging year for home buyers. Let's look at 2021 and what potentially could happen. Some new data was just released I want to talk about. And the last thing I'll discuss are some strategies that you can consider as a home buyer in this really challenging, frustrating market right now. All that is coming up next. Hey, what's up everybody? It's Bob Dzienis with eXp Realty here in Bergen County, New Jersey. Thanks for joining me today on my channel. I really appreciate it. So today I'll be talking all about home buyers. But the real estate market was very interesting this year, and home buyers were in a really tough situation in many parts of Bergen County as well as northern New Jersey, but also across the country. Some really positive things actually came out of this pandemic, and one of those was lower interest rates for home buyers. In fact, they're the lowest rates we've seen in years. But with COVID-19 and the pandemic, it's really been a challenge for sellers because they haven't felt comfortable to put their properties out onto the market. So those people who were in a good position wanted to buy a house. But unfortunately, there wasn't a lot of inventory across the board, so supply was low and demand was really high. So really what made it challenging was these multiple offer situations for you to compete against 17 offers, 20 offers, 30 offers. Literally, that's what was going on throughout the year. Overbidding by tens of thousands of dollars to try to get homes. So how could you possibly compete in that environment? It was really challenging, it was hard, and you know what? Buyers threw up their hands and said, I don't know if I can do this. So really frustrating. So what I want to do in this video is provide three areas of information. Let's do a little recap of 2020 and why it really kind of stunk for the home buyer. Some of the trends that we saw throughout the year look like they're going to continue into 2021. Second topic I want to talk about is 2021. And then finally, in this crazy market, what kinds of things could you consider if you're still in that running to purchase a house? I've got some strategies that you can consider, and let's just talk through those. All right, sound good with these three topics? All right, let's go. All right, first up, let's just recap 2020. And I've got my aspirin here because what a year it was. The beginning of 2020 really was looking promising. Inventory was actually starting to come on. We saw some home prices rising very slightly actually as the year began. And then all of a sudden, bam, coronavirus, COVID-19, the pandemic, whatever you want to call it, it all started in March of 2020. So yeah, it was a really crazy, scary time because it was all new to everybody. Until protocols were put into place to understand how to safely kind of sell real estate in this market, we were just kind of holding back. There was not much we could do as real estate agents. And then as the spring months progressed, we started to be able to open back up a little bit. And what was interesting was that mortgage rates continued to fall. So demand really shot up, especially as we started to get into the late spring, early summer months of the pandemic. But the issue that everybody was facing was there was not a lot of inventory out there for buyers to check out. Sellers weren't feeling comfortable to have people coming through their houses. Supply was really low and demand from buyers was really high. So what was happening? Buyers had money, but there was really no homes or inventory for them to purchase. And if there were homes on the market, there were lines out the door, which is a fantastic position to be in, especially if you're a seller. But buyers were really hungry. They wanted to be able to take advantage of this market. But what was happening too in this market was home prices were really starting to rise very quickly. This year we're seeing 10%, 15% in some towns here in Bergen County. Those are huge increases over the course of a short period of time. So what was happening was, sellers were happy because they're getting multiple offers going way over asking price, basically inflating the value of homes very quickly. And many buyers were just missing out. Their offer might not have been as competitive enough in the eyes of sellers. The folks that really didn't benefit well in this market were first-time home buyers who might have had to use some different types of loan programs or maybe didn't have that 20% down. It really started to get frustrating because their offers were not accepted, which really is frustrating. It kind of stinks for that first-time home buyer in this really volatile market. Because what we were seeing throughout 2020 here in Bergen County in northern New Jersey was that $300,000 to maybe $600,000 price range was hot. And it continues to be very hot right now. We also saw increases in activity in the $1 million and over ranges as well. And that was just because of people leaving the New York City area coming to the suburbs. I'm continuing to work with first-time home buyers, and it's just been really frustrating because you try and you try and you try, and the offers don't get accepted. So I actually get into this a lot more in my housing market crash video. So a lot of speculation is out there about what might happen in 2021. I go through all those issues. If you just want to check out the video, it's right here. All right, next up, let's talk about the 2021 outlook for buyers. And one of the concerns that I've had and that I've discussed with my buyers is just affordability. You know, if they were looking in towns that were already popular before the pandemic, so a town like Ridgewood, which is already very popular, prices really increased about 10 to 15% in that market alone. The demand is very high there, and it continued to be high throughout 2020. Many of these towns were seeing inflated prices for homes. And then the discussion had to be, you know, does it make sense for you to purchase a home that's $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 over ask? You hope that your investment gains equity, absolutely. But does it make sense to really overbid on properties that are already asking for higher than normal prices? So some new data just came out from the National Association of Realtors, which actually looks like maybe things might be leveling off just a little bit. In the months of September and October across the United States, there was about a 1.1% decrease in pending home sales. Also, just looking at the Northeast, there was a 5.9% decrease in pending home sales for September and October. You know, so why could things be leveling off a little bit? The National Association of Realtors is actually saying that it really comes down to affordability. You know, where is that threshold for affordability? Does it make sense to overbid by thousands and thousands of dollars? But things really turned around in this year of 2020. Fall actually became our spring market. In fact, the National Association of Realtors did a comparison of fall last year to this year, and fall, which is typically a slower market here in the Northeast, has actually increased about 20% or so in comparison to 2019. So yeah, it seems like things might be slowing down a little bit. We're seeing some decreases in pending home sales here. Demand is still pretty high, and it looks like that's going to take us into 2021. Also in the news right now, they're talking about the vaccines possibly being released, but that could take months. So these multiple offer situations, overbidding potentially, really could continue to be in the market through, let's say, maybe the first half of 2021. Also, the new administration coming into office in January talked about during their campaign of possibly offering credits to folks who wanted to purchase a home. We'll see how that plays out. We don't know what's going to come out of that, but that could also increase demand as well. So we might still need this. We'll just have to see. All right, so let's close up this video with some strategies. You know, if things continue the way that they've been going throughout 2020, it's really going to be important for you to weigh your pros and cons and seriously consider, does it make sense for you to purchase in this very volatile market? First thing is, maybe you should wait. If you've tried numerous times and it's just gotten so frustrating, maybe you want to wait and hold off until you're in a better position or the market is in a better position so that you have a better chance for your offer to be accepted. Here's the thing, mortgage rates are still expected to be low into 2021. Another strategy is not falling into FOMO. You know what FOMO is? Fear of missing out. Maybe you just feel like, I need to buy a house, I need to buy a house. Right now is it's the perfect time. These mortgage rates are sick. Should we take advantage? Oh my goodness, should we do it? Take a step back, weigh your pros and cons, and see, does it actually make sense for you to do right now? So what I would do is make sure you align with a great real estate agent, someone that you trust, and just keep having the conversation to see where's the market headed, what is continuing to happen. Really sit back and answer that question for yourself. Another strategy for a home buyer is make sure that you're working with your real estate agent and your real estate agent knows your story. Tell your story. Why is it important for you to purchase a house? What are your limits and boundaries? It's important that your agent knows that. What about flexibility, and can you be flexible in regards to the purchase of the house? These are the types of things that your buyer's agent wants to know, so as they're working with the listing agent, maybe there's something that's discovered. Maybe you can be flexible with a closing date, for instance. And that's really appealing to the seller. Honestly, sometimes the highest bid doesn't always win in this situation. In fact, I've got some other strategies that you can consider. I have a video about winning that offer, so go ahead and check that out here. Okay, another strategy that you can consider is looking at towns that maybe don't have the popularity that some of the towns are experiencing right now through this whole COVID experience. Maybe what you could do is look at other towns that might have similar amenities, but the prices have not increased nearly as high. So are there any accommodations that maybe you're willing to make and not get into that most popular town that everyone's trying to get into? But not every town here in Bergen County has seen those major increases. So really work closely with your real estate agent. They could have some great insights on other towns that maybe you're not considering in your home searches. You also might want to consider your price point as well. Maybe go a little bit lower. Can you actually consider maybe more of a fixer-upper home? Could you actually live in the home a couple of years and then considering doing that upgrade? Also work with your agent to find homes that maybe have been on the market for a while. Even in this crazy market, they might not have gotten an offer. If that's the case, you might have some negotiating power to be able to get your offer accepted. The final thing I want to leave you with in regards to strategy, just keep trying. If you know you have the means necessary to be able to purchase a home, and you know in your heart of hearts that you really want a home, just be prepared mentally to keep on trying. When you're working with an agent, your agent is going to fight for you. Really make sure you're collaborating with your agent. Use them as a sounding board. I know it can be really frustrating to try to get your offer accepted, especially in this market that's just so crazy. But if you know now is the right time, just keep trying, because eventually you're going to win that offer. All right, so there you go. Just some ideas and strategies about this crazy market. And hey, look, I didn't even have to open this. So let's put it into the universe that 2021 is going to be an amazing year. And hopefully 2021, if you're still in the market, you get that house. So if you have any questions whatsoever about Bergen County or Northern New Jersey, go ahead and reach out. My information is below. Shoot me a text, send me an email, give me a call. I'm happy to answer any questions that you have about Northern New Jersey or Bergen County. So I want to thank you guys for watching. I'm Bob Dzienis, a local realtor here in Bergen County, New Jersey. So if you like what you saw today, go ahead and click that like button for me. Consider subscribing and click that little bell so that you can get updated on new videos that I post here every single Friday. So thanks again for tuning in to Bergen County Homes by Bob Dzienis. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you next week with my next video.